very bright today. Look at all the light shining through. It's gleaming on my face. It's a very sunny day in England today, but it is as deceitful as ever because it is in fact fucking freezing outside. And what we're doing today is a very different kind of video. I don't usually do stuff like this, but because it tends to be like an extremely big talking point every year, it just seemed like it would be a good idea to actually sort of capitalize on it and make a video talking about it, discussing it, because Radio X have once again released their fan voted top 100 songs of all time list thing. Yeah, now they've been a pretty popular radio station, online music blog type thing, whatever you want to call it, mostly a radio station, let's be honest. For quite a few years they really became such a big thing for British people because they've always been known to play like the rock classics. You know, they're keeping it to the real music, keeping it to the proper stuff, the proper British stuff. And of course, with them being that kind of go-to radio station, I think they took it upon themselves to basically be like, look, we're going to get the fans to tell us every year what the best songs are, and it's always an infamous type of list. People have very mixed feelings on it. I think the general consensus is that most people like the songs on them. I tend to as well. When I look through the list, I tend to look at them and go, you know what, these are good songs, but it always just seems to cause a bit of a ruckus, and people just think that it's pretty basic, typical picks, predictable, just very obvious stuff. They don't really go out of their way to add anything new, but it is just user voted, so you can't expect a lot really. And it's interesting because I did literally just see an article a few days ago about how like lad culture is holding back British music, because bands like Oasis, Arctic Monkeys tend to be spearheaded and, you know, held up so highly in the conversation that most people just want more bands like that. And because those fans typically like that kind of music, we don't really see much progression in British music, and small British acts don't really get much bigger than they are. It's become quite homogenized in comparison to America, which is an incredibly diverse musical scene these days. But I think Britain is falling behind with new and up and coming big acts that are changing things and being unique because of, you know, the fans that want typical things that sound like we've already heard. That's probably a video for another day though. I'm just gonna stop wabbling and rambling and wobbling and fluffing around now. I'm just gonna get into the list. So I'm basically gonna pick out the interesting tracks here, just getting my laptop ready, just gonna run through. I'm not gonna talk about every single 100 songs because that would probably take forever. But what we're gonna do is just kind of look through, see what there is, and give off some of my thoughts. Hopefully you enjoy this video. Obviously we're going to see a lot of Beatles, Oasis, Arctic Monkeys, probably Kasabian, probably Cortinas, The Verve, Queen. We're going to see all the classics, all the things you already know, but I just kind of want to see where it all ranks and stuff like that. So it's starting at number 100. We might get some shocks. I mean, we're probably not gonna, but we might. All right, so right out the gate at number 100, we got some Beatles with Let It Be. To be fair, I'm not mad at this pick. I think the Beatles are pretty good, aren't they, really? Let's be honest, you can't really argue too much about that. And honestly, while Let It Be isn't one of my favourite songs, Let It Be, the album, might be my favourite Beatles album, which is not a take I see very often. So, yeah, take that for what you will. I'd have gone with many of the songs from that album, to be honest. And I bet a lot of the Beatles picks aren't going to be some of my personal favourites. So yeah, seeing them isn't really too surprising here. They also tell you what are new on this chart as well, which is quite interesting. We have a Smiths track, Big Mouth Strikes Again, and also Blossoms at number 98. I saw Blossoms live actually, they're pretty alright. They're, again, pretty much indebted to previous bands from the UK. You can see that they're not really willing to shake things up and bring a huge amount of new to the table. But I think that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not good, because I think they are pretty good. Queen and Bowie, of course, there's going to be Bowie on this list. I already said Queen would be on this list with Under Pressure. Yeah, one of my favourite Queen songs actually, and it's no surprise that it would be because Bowie is on the track, and Bowie is truly one of the greats. Like, who can deny that? Of course, we're already getting into the Oasis worship. 94, some might say. It's fine. I don't think it's that good of a track. People that think Oasis like the best thing ever are either from Manchester or they are just very much into alternative rock type music, aren't they, really? I don't think this track is one of the best British songs ever made. I don't see it. Likewise with number 93, Stairway to Heaven. It's a solid track, but even to Led Zeppelin standards, I wouldn't say this is one of the best. You can see though, actually, it's fallen 55 places. So I think by the time we do this next year, I think that actually you could see this completely off the list. Arabella, Arctic Monkeys, are you sure? I don't know about Arabella. It's that one that sounds like that Black Sabbath track, isn't it? Which I wonder if Black Sabbath will actually make the list. But yeah, Arabella. I don't know. I think there's a subsection of Arctic Monkeys fans that think AM is their best, which I'm not arguing with. I don't think it is. But I don't know if this track is honestly that good. Next, we got Massive Attack at 90 though with Teardrop. What a pick this is, Massive Attack. With Teardrop. Not like the biggest fan of Massive Attack or anything, but yeah, this and a few of their other tracks from the 90s were fantastic. So yeah, great pick. Radiohead at 87 with Fake Plastic Trees. That's a cool pick actually. I've said a few times on this channel, I'm not the biggest Radiohead fan, but they have some amazing songs. Excuse me. So it's actually kind of cool to see a track like this make it on here. Again, don't know if I'd pick this one though. I don't know how much Radiohead will end up on this list, but I think, you know, if I was doing this, I'd probably put on something like Paranoid Android. I think that really is one of the best Radiohead tracks ever. We're really trying to make Sam Fender a thing in the UK. Another one of those artists that just offers very little in the way of anything I haven't, you know, heard before. I've just heard artists like this before, and we seem to eat them up in Britain, which I always found a bit odd because I don't get it. He's a handsome dude, I'll give him that. Fair play to him, good looking guy, but that's probably about it. Prodigy with Breathe, next 82. These are the kind of tracks that I feel like need to make it on this list a little bit more than they do, because I think we forget that Britain is actually not just indie rock music. I know Radio X is very much like, you know, we like this genre, so we're going to put a more effort into it and put these kinds of tracks on our radio stations, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, fair dues. But I don't know, man. I think when I think of British music, you know, the Chemical Brothers come to mind, the Prodigy come to mind, like that really ahead of its game electronic type of stuff that we've been so good at really being like the trailblazers of. You know, drum and bass type shit, man. Imagine if this list had more of that. I think it would look so much better. Oh, we do have Paranoid Android next though. Great to see this here. Like I said, definitely one of the best Radiohead tracks. Wasn't sure if it'd make it on. It's actually a re-entry, so it was here one time and it went off and came back. So there we go. Jamie T. Not really that big a fan of Jamie T. He's fine, I guess. Bowie with Starman. Can't argue too much with that one. Yeah, again, not one of my favourite Bowie tracks, but it's so iconic that you couldn't miss it off. I definitely would love to see tracks from Station to Station on this list, but I think if we're looking at Bowie and a list like this, it's going to be his iconic ones that make it on. Of course, we were going to see Stone Roses as well. I feel like I should have said them when I was predicting what would make it on the list. To be fair, the kind of shoegazy, dreamy atmosphere of I Want to Be Adored is hard to deny. And I'm glad that this is the song that made it on the list as well. Although there's going to be more. There's definitely going to be more. We got Brainstorm by Arctic Monkeys. This is my Arctic Monkeys album, man. Favourite Worst Nightmare, definitely my favourite of theirs. And I think Brainstorm is a great track. Scrolling through, just having a quick gander as well. Like, seeing 2 or 3 Oasis songs in like the past 5. I just don't know if I quite get it, but Joy Division with Love Will Tear Us Apart, 63. Yeah, man, great track, great track. To be fair though, I think we might have more Arctic Monkeys on this list than any other band. 62, When the Sun Goes Down, great pick. Fantastic song that is. And then Are You Mine at 59. Oh, but Oasis are right after that though, aren't they, with Cast No Shadow. Yeah. Haven't seen a huge amount of Rolling Stones yet actually, but at 53 we've got Paint It Black, which I actually think is a great track. Obviously, by the way, all of this is just my opinion, so you might be listening to me thinking this guy has no idea what he's talking about, but you know, it is only music at the end of the day, so if you're going to get that pissy, maybe click off the video and do something else. But yeah, Paint It Black, great track. What was this on Guitar Hero? I mean, I think I discovered it through Guitar Hero or Rock Band, whatever it was, but yeah, man, such good memories of that. I don't know if I was expecting to see as much Stereophonics, but scrolling through, I've seen quite a few of their tracks. I haven't mentioned any of them yet though. But yeah, 49 we got Local Boy in the Photograph. Yeah, fine, it's alright track. I used to listen to these guys a lot more when I was younger. Not sure I'd put them in a top 100 all time though, but maybe I should make my own and release it on this channel to kind of give you guys what I think, because obviously it's easy to say I wouldn't have this in mind without actually having your own list. So yeah, I guess I could change that. Massive Attack, Unfinished Sympathy at 47, fantastic track. Good to see more Massive Attack. Right after that though, we literally got Arctic Monkeys, Oasis. Like fucking hell, man. The worship is real. The worship is truly real. We'd have Mr. Brightside on this list if we could. Like, there are probably people like that think Killers are English, but if we could, we'd have them at number 1. I know we would. Now, I am sure to God, I swear to God, there was a debate last year on Twitter or social media, or probably all forms of social media, that the Radio X list was catching a bit of flack for not having enough female artists, you know, in the top 100 overall. And I'm wondering if that's going to be the same this year. Now, I personally just tend to go with the idea that if a song is fantastic, I love it regardless of the gender of the artist. But there is something to be said about this list and every year before it, because there are definitely female artists that they don't show attention to. I mean, Amy Winehouse at 42 with You Know I'm No Good, but like, there are a lot of British female acts that could be on this list, and I think they typikly keep it very much to what they already know. And there probably is something to be said about how underknown some female artists become, because, you know, you could have Kate Bush on this list and maybe she'll appear at some point, but you know, she's not here and she's pretty famous. So think of all the smaller artists that are female that don't get on this list. Again, not something I think about when I make my own personal lists. I just go with what I love, and I get that this is the same, but I just kind of wonder that what do Radio X just cater to more of that male demographic? I don't know. It's interesting to think about though. But yeah, I do wonder if there'll be a bit of a debate this year again. Back-to-back great tracks though. Pink Floyd 41, Wish You Were Here, one of my favourite Pink Floyd tracks. New Order, Blue Monday, what a track that is. Just one of the best New Order tracks ever, to be fair. 38, This Charming Man by the Smiths, probably, again, one of the best Smiths songs. These tracks definitely make sense. I'd no doubt have some of the ones that I've just mentioned there on my own list because they are just that good. Radiohead Creep though, nah. Get that off the list. Radiohead's Creep isn't that good. War Prodigy with Firestar at 31. Plug-in Baby by Muse. Decent shout, to be fair. I didn't think... no, I didn't think I'd see this. Where was that last year? Was that high last year? It says it's gone down 31. Gone down 31? No, it's gone up 31. Oh, it's gone up 31. So yeah, it was low down on the list last year. It's higher on this list this year. Yeah, that makes sense. Of course, we'd have to see Oasis Wonderwall. Brits don't know any other songs exist apart from this song, apparently. And then Smiths back to back with There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, and How Soon Is Now, which again, 2 tracks there that are definitely some of the best Smiths songs. Not the biggest Smiths fan actually. I think their albums are a little bit overrated if I'm going to be honest. But if we're going to pick Smiths songs, this list has done a good job of picking the best Smiths songs. Sam Fender 20. Look, we're about to get to the part of the list where random new tracks that came out like last year are going to make it on just because they're well known and they're popular at the moment. So yeah, Sam Fender, probably a bit of a symptom of that. Dog Days Are Over by Florence and the Machine. It's jumped up massively. It went up 56 places, and we're now seeing it at number 17. That's pretty cool. Dakota by Stereophonics. Once again, we're seeing Stereophonics pop up here. At number 15, David Bowie Heroes at 14. Fantastic track that is. A Certain Romance by Arctic Monkeys at number 13. I always thought that was a bit of an underrated Arctic Monkeys song actually, so I might be wrong with that if that's as high as this. Because yeah, that's obviously a track that people love. I always thought it was underrated, but clearly at number 13, that's one of the highest entries of their entire catalogue on this list. So yeah, clearly not as as underrated as I thought. Top 10 now. What did I just bloody say about new songs randomly climbing into the charts on this list? Nothing But Thieves with Impossible that came out last year. Surely it's because it's getting a lot of radio play on Radio X that people voted this. Surely, right? Like, Nothing But Thieves in the top 10 all time, above some of tracks like David Bowie's Heroes and friggin' Pulp's Common People. Are you sure? Are you sure? Arctic Monkeys once again showing their dominance with 505 at number 7. Great track to be fair. Not sure I'd have it as high as this, but I do like that song a lot. Back to Black by Amy Winehouse has gone up a lot of places. In the top 10 at number 6. Great pick to be fair. Not 19 Forever by Cortinas. Not a great pick. Not a great pick. I don't get this track. I don't see what people love about it really. I don't get it. Right now we're at the top now. We've got Bittersweet Symphony at number 4, to be fair. Good track. Bit overplayed, but good track. Champagne Supernova, Oasis, go figure, at number 3. Again, bit overplayed, but not a bad song at all. Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody has fallen 1 place to, you guessed it, an Oasis song. Live Forever at number 1. To be fair, if I had to tell you like a song that I would call my favourite Oasis song, my answer would actually be Live Forever. I think this is a great track. So yeah, but it's just a bit obvious, isn't it really? Oasis taking 3 places in the top 10. And I'm not going to go back and count, but I'm going to guess they've had at least 20 songs, at least, easily. Maybe more, honestly, at least, on the whole top 100. Which, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think I'd have anywhere near that many in my top 100 of all time. Yeah, not sure if I quite get it. They were a good band, don't get me wrong, they were definitely good, but I think we overrate them. I think we really overrate them in the UK. I don't think they're as innovative or as groundbreaking or as special as we seem to act like they were. There's rumours like every year that there's going to be an Oasis reunion, and it's like, why not listen to something new? Why not listen to something new? But yeah, as predictable as it's going to be, this list, I think. My general thoughts are that I like a lot of the songs here, but it would just be good to see a bit more of a shock. Like, seeing Massive Attack was a surprise, and I don't know why it should be a surprise. Seeing The Prodigy was kind of a surprise again, even though they're pretty famous, and yeah, looking at a list like this, it was a surprise because of how dominated it is by Arctic Monkeys, Oasis, and, you know, even the Beatles, to an extent, they had quite a big pull on this list. But yeah, that's just generally my thoughts anyway. I don't think it's going to change that much drastically next year, but I thought I'd react to it and you know, give you guys something a bit different. Perhaps you're a big fan of all of these songs, so you're going to watch this video and maybe think I was being a bit harsh, but I don't know. I think what I want to see is just British music having a bit of a sea change. I think there needs to be a bit more diversity in genre. I think that becomes more well respected, you know. I'm not necessarily talking about like, oh, there should be more female artists on this list. I personally would probably have more, but I'm not saying it has to have more. What I'm saying is that the genre, the diversity in genre is missing for lists like this. And yeah, I think generally for British fans of music, we're pretty homogenous. We only seem to like a few sort of things. And I think that's a shame, because I think we have more to offer than that. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. Again, I might even just like do a separate video at some point of my own personal picks to just kind of highlight the different kind of tracks we could see on this list. But I don't know, or maybe I'll do, I don't know, we'll see. That's just speculating anyway. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. If you have any thoughts, let me know in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Do have a good day. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts on the list as well. And goodbye.